Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon and welcome to Hill Stadium in Saco. This afternoon, number 2 Thornton Academy hosting number 3 Massabesic. The Trojans come in at 8-1. Massabesic counters at 7-2. Of course, one of Massabesic's losses this season was to Thornton Academy, a 26 victory for the Trojans at Waterboro. This afternoon, a little bit different. Thornton Academy comes with Keith Crutto at quarterback. Burgess is ready if needed. And Massabesic, of course, brings that very potent offensive game, the running game. They feature Noble and Simmons, and they can ground it up on the ground.
Last time, Noble had well over 180 yards rushing. Thornton Academy is going to have to obviously stop that. And really, that is a big key this afternoon on first down situations. They can ill afford to give 5, 6 yards. What they want to force Massabesic into is second and third down long situations. Force them to throw the football. And really, that is Thornton Academy's strong suit because you have the 3 seniors back there, Jay, Soroyce, Crotto, and of course Summer. And when teams are forced to throw the football, usually good things happen for Thornton Academy. So they have to key up on first down, stop them for short yardage, 2 or 3 yards.
Again, the key defensively for Thornton Academy will be Tabor and Lamar. The defensive tackles had good games last time they met. Of course, they gave us some yardage, but a lot of that to the outside. Tabor and Lamar have been playing outstanding football. And then your defensive ends today, Trudeau and Knox, have to pinch in today. I think they'll have to pinch in towards the middle and really shut down that inside running game. And that, of course, means the outside linebackers have to stop the rush to the outside.
Our outside linebackers at Thornton Academy definitely have the speed to get to the outside. And the men up front, the 4 guys that you just mentioned, have to hit and read, clog up the middle, allow the linebackers to come up, fill the gaps. They did a pretty good job the first time. Where they're really effective is when they get in the red zone. Massabesic unable to push the ball in the end zone. And the reason for that is because of that secondary of Thornton Academy, they're able to single up on the wide receivers, push everything tight to the inside, and really clog up that middle. Defensively, they've been very strong this year. Really, that's going to be the key again this afternoon.
Thornton Academy has had problems with the turnovers the last couple of weeks of the season. That is something in a playoff game, or any game for that matter, they have to stay away from.
You were saying that first game against Massabesic, it was a bakery game, all the turnovers. They do have to stay away from it because really there were 3 or 4 good drives they had going, turned the ball over. Again last week, really, it kind of was missed in the 33-8 score. A lot of fumbles, a few recovered by the Trojans, but they have to take care of the football here this afternoon. Want to get their running game going, and perhaps, Jay, they'll do that through the air, loosen up that Massabesic defense, and then allow Carey and Massey to work their thing.
I think one other key to today's game is the fact that Coach Agresti has said publicly that Burgess is ready to play, and there was a quarterback controversy of sorts brewing at Thornton Academy. And with Burgess ready, now Coach Still for the Massabesic has to prepare for 2 quarterbacks. He doesn't know which one Thornton Academy is going to come with. Of course, Crutto a little quicker to the outside, a little quicker all around. Burgess, the better thrower, still runs the option well. And now Thornton has a nice thing going because if Crutto falters for some reason, they can come with Burgess.
Stilfen said in the papers this week that he was preparing for Crotto since he's already seen Burgess. The thing Keith Crotto brings to that offense is the quickness and the quick pitch. That defensive end comes down on him quickly, he gets rid of it to Massey, and that means the cornerback has to come up now with the quick stick. We saw what happened last week. Very diversified offense. He brings a lot of speed to it. I think that he could really give fits to that Mustang defense here this afternoon.
It should be an interesting afternoon. Number 2, Thornton Academy hosting number 3, Massabesic. We're coming back with the opening kickoff right after this on CTV 30. Think it was keeper?
We got some good outtakes, man.
We should make a film of all the outtakes.
Yeah, well, they weren't many this year.
Oh, Paquette, let me hit. Oh, tease.
Hey, Jay,
What's going on?
let's make this the best game we do this year.
Mangle the Mustangs. Wow, who thought of that one? Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco as Thornton Academy enters, crashing the sign held by the cheerleaders. Mangle the Mustangs. And certainly the Trojans looking to do that and get a rematch with the Biddeford Tigers. Biddeford hosting Lewiston this afternoon as number 1 plays number 5. Here it's 2 and 3. Jay Harper and Marc Paquette with you, along with the outstanding staff of Monsieur Nanook Pickard, Tony Ryan, and Dennis Avery as we get set for high school football on CTV 30. Thornton Academy coming in 8-1. Massabesic at 7-2. A very sparse crowd on hand. Mark, as you look around Hill Stadium, a bit of a shock.
I was somewhat surprised when we pulled in here to see so few in attendance. Perhaps the hunting season hurting things, or the early start, 1 p.m. rather than the 1:30 traditional start. Hopefully, as things progress here, we get more maroon and gold fans filing in.
Massabesic, a decent representation. But you remember back to the game in Waterboro, there was 5,000 people at that one. That was a huge attended game and probably the biggest in the history of Massabesic football, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the fact that this is a very important game and a big game, really. Two teams that very evenly matched, played a great game the first time around this season. You would certainly expect lots of people to be interested in coming to watch this game and the outcome. And let's hope, as we said, let's hope that they start to file in as things progress. Beautiful afternoon for football here this afternoon, Jay.
Well, this could be the last game for the seniors, and it will be the last home game for the seniors, so we get the introduction of all the seniors for Thornton Academy, and there they are down below. And congratulations on an outstanding year, and let's hope it continues.
That's assuming that Biddeford beats Lewiston, that is.
This is true. If Lewiston was to pull the biggest upset of high school football in the 1993 season, you would have Thornton Academy hosting Lewiston. We'll pause now for our national anthem. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30. Academy versus Massabesic. Coming up in just moments, Harper and Marc Paquette with you as we have reached the semifinals in Western A action. Last night in Eastern A, number 3 Bangor over number 2 Lawrence, 27-7. And yeah, you heard it here. Tony Ryan, the man, he had it. And of course, Mark, you and I both felt the same, that if there was going to be an upset, it would be Bangor over Lawrence. Bangor playing outstanding football the second half of the year, and their 2 losses came to Waterville and Lawrence, both by very close margins. A 13-12 loss to Lawrence, a 13-10 to Waterville. And if Waterville gets by Mount Blue today, as everyone expects, give Bangor a heck of a shot at knocking off the number 1 rated Panthers.
I like Bangor's chances of being the state game. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to wait for the score to see how Waterville handles things this afternoon. But right now, I would have to say Bangor has an excellent shot of getting themselves in position to win a gold ball here this year.
Well, it has now become a trend in high school football. Massabesic has won the toss. They have deferred to Thornton Academy. And just about every team now across Western A is certainly doing this now. And it's kind of funny. Thornton did it to Massabesic, and Massabesic now returns the favor. Trojans will start with a football as we open up the semifinal contest on CTV 30. Last time these two teams met, Thornton won 26 over the Mustangs, controlled the game for the most part. Massabesic chewing up a lot of yardage on the ground versus Thornton Academy, but couldn't get the job done inside the 20s. Thornton Academy also struggled inside that red zone. They turned the ball over 3 times down inside the zone. And this one, a big question mark. A lot of people who watch and predict high school football feel this is going to be a very close ball game. A hard-fought, very difficult game. I still have my doubts about that one. I still think Thornton Academy has 2 touchdowns at least better. And I think Thornton Academy, if they don't turn the ball over 2 or 3 times last time, they walk away with an easy win. Back at Hill Stadium, this game lacks intensity at this point. This is really taking on an opening season game, not a playoff game. I am astounded and stunned, shocked, bewildered, belingered.
All of those things.
Exactly.
Let's just hope that Thornton Academy can get the crowd into this thing early. You know, with deferring to the second half, you want to get your defense on the field, hoping that the offense will be a little jittery, but that can work against you. If that offense comes out, punches a quick one in on you, then it has worked against you. Let's hope that Thornton Academy can do that here this afternoon.
Prado deep in the middle. Kevin Massey on his right, Ryan Summer on the left. Rick Carey, the short deep man in the middle. Doyon and Boudreaux on his sides. Massabesic getting set to kick off as we get underway at Hill. Noble will kick off. A lining kick, the wind holds it up. Fielded by Summer at the 23. Cuts inside, puts his head down, and rambles out to the 39-yard line. The kid that loves contact gets some early, and the Trojans will start first down and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
Summer doing the wise thing, fielding that ball short, knowing Massabesic will be coming down in good pursuit, just getting the ball up the field for as many positive yards as possible.
Keith Greto, the starting quarterback, he brings them out in the eye. Carey and Massey, they go to the deep man Massey. Massey cuts to the left, he picks up a couple. Setting up Thornton Academy's offense at center, number 66, Chad Broll. The guards, Scott Fisk, number 56, Chris Tabor, 77. John Verrill, the right tackle, wearing number 64. Greg Lamar, number 78, filling in for Harder. So Royce will be the wideout. Christian Doyon, the Z-back, and in the backfield, we got Credo, Carey, Massey. And the Trojans looking at 2nd and 8. Credo goes on the pitch, gets it to Massey. Massey has to stop for it, catches it, gets outside. He'll pick up 6 yards. Thornton Academy will look at a 3rd down and 2.
Without that bobble, Ramos came right down defensive end to this side of the field on Credo. A quick pitch to the outside to Massey. A little bit of a bobble, and he still picks up some good yardage, bringing up a 3rd and 3. Without that, he probably would have been able to cross the 50 and pick up a first down for Thornton Academy.
Again, though, Credo using the pitch very effectively. And let's not forget tight end Jeff Wolfart, wearing number 89. That's the starting lineup for the Trojans, looking at a big 3rd down and 3. Credo hands off to Carey. Carey inside. He's going to have it, folks. Just short of the 50-yard line. He needed to come about a half a yard within the 50, and Carey comes up pointing, we got it.
They have to get to the 49 from where we're standing, and it's right down the line from our vantage point. First down, Thornton Academy.
So 3 plays, they chew up the necessary 10-plus yards. Ball just short of the 50, and Thornton Academy looking at a first down and 10.
You have to feel that Thornton Academy can't exploit the Mustang defense to the outside with either Prado keeping the ball or that quick pitch.
Massey goes in motion, Summer on the counter. Summer breaks inside, puts his head down. Different wrinkle for the Trojan offense. He'll get 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
We saw them use this last week. Defenses now are keying so much up on Carey. They're going for that first fake to the inside. And then you go the other direction with Summer, who is a strong running back, as you said, loves the contact, very physical runner. 3-yard pickup on first down for the Trojans.
Renato brings them out in the eye. So Royce to the far side, Doyon to the man. Pitch to Massey. Massey puts his head down, dives forward, only gets a couple. Thornton Academy staying very conservative early on. Thornton right now has the wind at their back. Credo very effective last week passing versus Marshwood. And now a 3rd down and more than likely passing situation. Great. You'd like to see Thornton Academy open up on the air on either 1st or 2nd. Now wait for that 3rd and obvious situation.
Great job by Ramos that time, taking the lead block from Carey and then able to still get to Massey.
Ramos is a big-time player on defense for Massabesic. Credo in the eye, rolls out. Pressure coming from his backside, steps up inside, the ball's on the field. Trojans able to get back on it. Credo smartly jumping inside, but Ramos able to get a hand on him and the ball came free. Thornton Academy now will be forced into a punting situation. And the punting game very much in disarray for the Trojans. We'll see who will be kicking. Royce has been practicing all week to do the punting, but Burgess also healthy, and he comes out to punt for Thornton Academy.
Ramos coming in from the near side of the field that time, untouched and able to get pressure in on Crotto. Fortunately for the Trojans, they were able to jump on the ball.
Thornton have to kick it away. Pressure coming in. Burgess takes a lot of steps, gets up, gets a good kickoff, and that brings the crowd to its feet. Fielded on the far side by Massabesic. Pressure out there. Tabor misses. And finally hauled down.
They just missed a clip at the 10-yard line. Tabor was pushed in the back.
Stephen DiLorenzo on the return. He gets it out to the 17-yard line. You were pointing at that one, and the referees not throwing the yellow flag. Massabesic will start first and 10 from their own 17. Good kick by Burgess, who had troubles punting versus Biddeford. And he's back healthy and able to get off a very good punt. And the Mustangs will set up their offense first down and 10. Noble in the slot, goes in motion, the handoff to the deep man Simmons, and hammered by Rick Carey.
Little introduction there by Carey. Going to be a long afternoon, and that's where the Trojans really need to bulk up their defense on that first down situation, hold the Mustangs to a short gain, and now if they can do the same on second down, force the Mustangs into a passing situation.
Quarterback Kevin Letarte, a senior, has had difficulties during the season passing the football. Pitch goes out to Noble. Noble trying to get outside. Carey trips him up. Noble dives forward. He'll get 3.5, maybe 4 on the play. A good tackle again by Rick Carey. 2 plays, 2 unassisted tackles by Rick Carey.
Great balance by Noble. Thought he was going to go down. Initial hit by Carey, but able to keep his feet, dive forward. And now, Jay, Thornton Academy, where they want the Mustangs in that 3rd and 5 situation.
But not an obvious passing situation. I think deep in their own end, Massabesic will keep it on the ground. So Thornton Academy has to stay tight and up. Doyon does get the start at the left corner for Crotto. Pitch comes this way to Noble. Noble up and met. Great tackle by Boudreau, knifing his legs out from underneath him. And that'll be a loss of 3 on the play. Bring up a 4th down and 8.
You got Trudeau from the defensive end position, knifing inside, taking on those additional blockers, and then Boudreau coming to the outside. A real nice job of knifing down. And Thornton Academy, Jay, should come up with some decent field position here.
Great field position because Noble has to punt into the wind. Crotto and Doyon only at their own 50. The ball bounces, fielded by Doyon. Doyon hands to Crotto. The wall's there. 1 man to block. It's there. There goes Crotto. Cuts inside, tripped up at the 30. A great job defending on that other side. For a moment, it looked like he was off to the races. Tackle made on the play by number 35, Joe Pierce.
And when you talk special teams, who we've been talking about all year long, Matt Gooding getting a big block at Thornton Academy's 45 on the big defensive end. Ramos springing Crotto to the outside, and yes, indeed, they do have excellent field position right at the 30-yard line.
Crotto brings them out. Doyon comes to the near side. Royce to the far. Trojans in the eye. Crotto goes on the option. Fakes. Now we'll have to cut in. And nothing doing there. Tough place to run on that right side with the Suey boys in pursuit. And, of course, Ramos. Very good from his left defensive end position.
And Ramos does not commit himself on that play. Kind of stays in between pitchman and quarterback. And with great pursuit from the linebackers, nothing there. And you are indicating right now it's time to go on top. I agree. Time for Thornton Academy to air this thing out.
Gooding goes to the far side. Royce to the near. 2nd and 10. Crotto will throw. Pressure coming in. Fires out. He's picked off. And a nice tackle by Royce as he hauls down Sean Burns right at the 16-yard line, and Crotto an ill-advised pass.
Something very interesting happened on that play. Wolfart was going out to the opposite side of the field. He was wide open in the middle of the field at about the 15, and Thornton Academy would be wise to go back to that. They have not used their tight end that much this year. A very ill-advised pass on that play.
5:05 to play, first quarter. No score between Thornton, Massabesic. Semifinals of Western Maine High School football. Mustangs with a 1st and 10. The handoff to the short side of the field. It's Simmons, and Simmons busts outside, and he'll get 9 yards. Tackled by Kerry and Sorois. They'll spot him actually for 10 yards. An excellent spot for the Stangs.
Good job by Massabesic on that left side of their line with the Sui brothers sealing the inside. A lot of outside room there.
Trojans caught keying up on Noble. And they go to Simmons, and Simmons rattles off the necessary 10 yards. The chains move, and Mustangs have their first down of the contest. Very quick moving first half, and again, so far a dogfight. Thornton Academy coming up short on 2 consecutive possessions. 1 turnover and the near turnover, forcing Thornton to punt. So far the offense defaulting a little bit. Thornton now brings everybody up to the line of scrimmage. Massabesic with 8 men across the line of scrimmage. They hand off to Noble, and Noble going nowhere.
Greg Lamar taking Gary Sui on head on, standing him straight up, neutralizing that line of scrimmage and able to come up with that tackle, as well as many other Trojans who come in and help out.
Credo comes in now to replace Doyon at the corner. A 2nd and 9 situation. Credo playing QB. Coach Agresti using him diligently in the defensive secondary. 2nd and 9. The Knights bring Tangway to the near side, Ford to the far. Rolling out is Latard. He's got passing, finds his man in the slot, Ramos. And Ramos hauled down short of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Nasty draped all over Ramos, but really a great delivery by Latard. Right on the target with a good play action fake, rolling out to the right side. And this is the situation Massabesic likes to be in, with a 3rd and very short with their power brand of running.
No pressure put on quarterback Latard. Pass rush non-existent on that play. Latard had plenty of time to find his big tight end Ramos, who is a player, folks. He's only a junior. Watch for that kid next year. Him and Noble both coming back. Hand off up the middle. The Stangs will pick up the first down. Massabesic bring a very good contingent on the far side of the field, and their fans are up and cheering, as they should be. We don't see our green-haired kids, though. Where are they?
There it is. They're not here today. At least we don't see them down on the sidelines. They may be here someplace, Jay.
2:50 to play, first quarter, no score. Massabesic with the ball, a 1st and 10 at their own 37. Latard brings them out in the eye. Forward in slot right formation. They hand off, counter back with Simmons. Simmons with room. He'll rattle off 10, 11 yards and a first down, tackled by Summer. But that little counter play with Simmons is working.
Second time they've run that this afternoon with very good effectiveness, because they're able to seal that outside containment to the inside, and that leaves just the cornerback on this side of the field to bring Simmons down.
Another first down as Massabesic has rattled off 3 in a row. Ball now just short of midfield. Latard brings them out of the eye. Tangway to the far side. Ford comes to the near. Noble the deep back in the eye. Latard's going to throw, looking for the fly pattern down the field. Ford streaking and nearly comes up with it just through the basket, it looked like, as Ford was out there and made a good run at it. That brings up a 2nd down and 10. Gambling is Coach Stilfen, and a good call, really, because Ford had Sorois by a step.
And that keeps the defense honest now. They just can't key up on that running game, knowing that Massabesic is willing to throw the football down the field. But from the Thornton Academy point of view, now Massabesic facing a 2nd and long, and if they're able to keep them to a very short game here, once again, they'll be in a passing situation.
Ford flanked to the far side of the field. Strong left formation for the Mustangs. Now they'll send Burns in motion. The pitch goes out, way back. Noble chasing, picks it up, and he's hammered down.
Knox coming right down that line of scrimmage after the fake to the fullback, forcing the quarterback in that quick pitch and nailing him. And you see what happens there. Great pressure, and DeSimone coming up with the big stick on Noble. And now, Jay, Thornton Academy will be well advised to play deep, a deep zone, give things in front.
And watch for the draw. That a loss of 16 yards on the play.
You think of draw and screen down in this type of situation.
And now Massabesic with a 3rd and 26. And DeSimone, what a hit. The little big man sticking him. He is in a foul mood. Counterplay again to Simmons, and that play has worked twice in a row, not 3. Lamar, Tabor, Boudreaux, Trudeau, they all get up off the pile, down and dirty in the stands. Quickly in a punting situation, just when it looked like they were going places. That big 2nd down play, the errant pitch, forces Massabesic into a punting situation. Again, Cruddo and Doyon go back. Some of the short man, the wind in their face, clock ticking down, 40 seconds, high snap. Noble fields it nicely, no pressure, gets off a decent kick. Doyon giving chase. It'll bounce and go out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Thornton Academy will set up 1st down and 10 for their 3rd possession of the afternoon. And if I'm Coach Agressi, I'm thinking right at this time now, if everything they've said about Andy Burgess is true, I would say let's give Cruddo one more shot at this thing. If it doesn't come up with points, if they don't move the football nicely, next possession, I come with Burgess to bring out the passing game. Move Cruddo to the out, you got Soroyce and Cruddo, and mix it up. Why not? If that doesn't work, come back with Cruddo. 1st and 10, carry on the handoff, gets a couple.
And where it's going to be open, Jay, is where Massabesic is keying so much in on carry. Those middle linebackers coming up. A good play action there. You sneak your tight end over the middle. That thing should be wide open all afternoon long. It was on the interception play. And I'd like to see the Trojans go back to that right now, throwing it over the middle to Wolfhard.
Down to 10 seconds. It'll be interesting to see if Thornton gets this play off before the end of the quarter. If they're going to pass, they'll want to. They have the wind at their backs. Cruddo does take the snap in time. The counter play with Carey. Carey busting into the secondary. He'll be just short of the 1st down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2, and that'll do it in the 1st quarter. We played 12 minutes in Saco, and we have no score between number 2 Thornton Academy and number 3 Massabesic. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30. We're back right after this. Back at Hills Stadium in Saco, Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette. Anoop Pickard on the camera, along with Dennis Avery and the man, Tony Ryan on the stats. Thornton looking at a 3rd and 1, ball just short of the 45. Trojans go with Carey in the middle, and I don't think he got it. And that will bring up a 4th and very short and a big time decision for Coach Agressi. Maybe feeling the pressure of not being able to move the football today, and might gamble in this situation, even though the ball's inside his own territory. That looks to me like it's going to be just short of the 1st down.
Massabesic was stacking everybody to the inside on that play, knowing Carey was likely to get the football. And you'd love to see the Trojans right here pick up that 1st down. I say they have confidence in their line to be able to go out and get the job done. If they miss it, it'll be inches short.
Just short, a big decision. And he sends out the punting team. I mean, that's inches. Very conservative call, and Thornton Academy will have to punt into the wind. Burgess has had problems into the wind versus Biddeford, and now this will be an interesting situation as Thornton's offense stymied early.
Well, let's see if they can go with a hard count and get the Mustangs to jump off sides.
Well, that's why you would think maybe they would do that, but also you bring Burgess out. He could just go under center. Massabesic sends back the punting unit, and Coach Agresti could bring Burgess under center and just run a play, and Burgess certainly could pick up the first down on a quarterback keeper.
Well, if you look at the personnel they have out there right now as far as the backfield, they could go with a power backfield of Massey and Summer out there anyways.
They readjust the clock. The clock is off. That's what the delay is all about. And now they're going to let... Now Cruddo's coming back out. They'll send the offensive unit back out. The crowd will roar to that one.
I like the call right here. I feel with the offensive line Thornton Academy has, they can pick up 6 inches.
Trojans come out, 4th and short. Big play, early second quarter. Thornton, stop! Carey won't get it. They went to Ramos's side. I'm surprised there. They got to stay away from that kid. And the Mustangs get the big break.
And that is a big turn of events right there. Mustangs coming up with a big defensive stand. Excellent field position.
If I'm Thornton, I stay away from Ramos at all costs. The kid is a player. I'm telling you. I can't tell you how big he is, but I can tell you he's from Lyman, and he's a big boy, and he's an ugly, angry football player. Hand off to Noble. Noble fumbles the ball. It's on the turf. Trojans got it.
Penalty flag, but that's going to be procedure against Massabesic. Thornton Academy will keep the football.
Trojans right back with a big turnover. Either Sorois or Trudeau came up with the ball.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Thornton Academy definitely lucky right here. And now the good teams are able to make something out of the turnovers. Let's see if the Trojans can drive down the field and put some points up on the board.
Doyon flank to the near side, Sorois to the far, Carey up the middle, and Rick Carey pounds inside the middle. Gets some good blocking. He gets 4 yards on the first down, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 6. A very good pickup on the first down carry.
Right now, Thornton Academy, although momentum hasn't been seized by either team, this is a very important time of the game, because after not picking up that first down, getting the ball right back, if they can drive down the field and get the job done, definitely momentum on their side.
1 turnover per team so far in the contest. Cruddow goes on the option, cuts it back inside. He's going to be smothered and hauled down.
Not the right decision that time. The ball should have gone to Rick Carey.
Noble and Valier on the stop for the Stangs. A loss of 2 on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 8. Massabesic's defense has been underrated all year. You've talked about their offense, their ground game, but they have a very good defense, and they shut down Thornton Academy's run game last time they met. Thornton has tried to stay on the ground throughout the contest. It hasn't worked. They need to go up top. Cruddow to throw, fires out in the flat, got Summer. Summer dives forward, he'll have the first down.
Very important play that time, and Cruddow makes the right decision right after the fake. A lot of pressure in his face. He gets the ball off quickly to Summer before the defensive secondary is able to come in on Summer, and they pick up just enough for that first down, and a very important first down here for the Trojans.
11-yard gain from the pass from Cruddow to Summer. Ryan Summer has been playing some excellent football the last 3 weeks of the year. Offensively, we know his defensive prowess, but offensively, he's been coming up big. Cruddow on the option, goes to Massey. Massey won't get much. Tackled on the play by Tangway. Also Corey Woodsum and Noble again.
And what do you do as an offense when you like to run the triple option and the opposition is taking away all 3 options? Very simple. You throw the football. And that's what Thornton Academy has to do right now. There really is nothing there on their running game. They have to loosen up that Mustang defense.
2nd and 8. Doyon to the near, Royce to the far. Prado rolling out. That time, fires out in the flat, looking for Royce. Just underthrown, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Right idea, Royce open on the flat, but unable to come back to the football where it was thrown just out of his reach. And now, Jay, the important thing here is if Thornton Academy can pick up 5-6 yards, they can go for it on 4th down.
Exactly, Rocket. Right on the money again. And if they can get 4 or 5, get it down to about the 36 or 7, that'll be deep enough in Massabesic territory to go for it on 4th down. But if they don't get anything, you would think they'll bring out the punting team. Runner to throw, fires back over the middle. He's got his man. Massey with a tackle, breaks loose. We may have an inadvertent whistle. Massey to the 10, the 5, touchdown.
This will be an interesting call because from here I thought I heard a whistle. And they're marching the ball down the field, and it does not appear that they're going to call that one back. Good choice by Crotto. As we've been stating since the beginning of the game, that middle is susceptible because of the pursuit of those middle linebackers, and a nice job of breaking a tackle by Massey and getting himself into the end zone. And yes, Thornton Academy able to come up with some points after that turnover.
A huge break. A 42-yard pass from Crotto to Massey. Massey with a catch over the middle. And Massey doing the kicking for Thornton. A line drive kick up and good, just inside the post. Thornton making the switch from Carey to Massey. 2nd round of the playoffs. Interesting call. Rick Carey's been mostly effective all season long. A different look. Crotto has to switch around, hold from the other side. But again, that pass over the middle, Crotto stepped up into the pocket, saw Massey at the last second, didn't panic, fired it to him. Massey makes a nice catch, gets hit by 2 men. We heard a whistle. Now, whether that came from the stands down below or what, there was a whistle apparently. I thought they were blowing him dead because for a moment he was held up. He breaks off the tackle, rambles down the far sideline, untouched into the end zone, and Thornton Academy takes the 7-0 lead. But interesting to see if Massabesic saying, hey, we heard a whistle. What happened?
It must have come from the stands here, Jay, because if you look over on the far side of the field, no argument by the Massabesic coaching staff, and surely had the whistle been blown down on the field, they would have been up in arms complaining that the ball should have been blown dead. So apparently our ear is picking something up, but where'd it come from?
Trudeau kicking off. Jared Trudeau kicks it to the 25-yard line. Simmons fields it and then runs it right up the gut.
Simmons running into a sea of maroon down there on the far side of the field. Nothing but maroon and gold shirts.
And the main man making the big stick, Ryan Summer. Let me just say a word about Summer or two. He has to be one of the finest safeties to ever come out of Thornton Academy, and that is putting a lot forward because there has been some outstanding safeties to walk through the halls of Thornton Academy. The kid's been doing it for 3 years, and I've never seen anybody hit as hard, as consistently as Ryan Summer.
And the same thing that Summer brings you is quickness. He's able to read, run, and come up and help in run attack defense very effectively, and does a great job on pass defense also. Doesn't shy away from the contact with that big frame.
You and I think, maybe taking his play for granted at times this year. He's so consistent, he's so good. But let's give him the plug that he deserves. He has been outstanding for the Trojans in a brilliant 3-year career. One of the finest safeties to ever play high school football. Misread, Latard in trouble, doing some good dancing back there as he makes 3 or 4 Trojans miss, but they'll finally haul him down for a big 4-yard loss, and that'll bring up 3rd and 8 rather than a very easy 3rd short.
Fullback going to the left side of the line of scrimmage, and Latard looking to the right side. No one there to help him out. Good job by Knox on this side to slow him down, and the rest of the pursuit comes in and cleans up. Getting back to Summer, I would go as far as to say that they probably have the finest defensive secondary this year, at least in Western A. 3 effective seniors back there guarding the pass.
Summer's just so good on the run. So many big hits. Hand off to Noble, nothing doing on the right side. Nothing doing. Right there, Chad Hedieris, along with John Farrell, who checks in for Lamar and Farrell. Outstanding, also climbing from the bottom of the pile, down and dirty in the trenches, doing it all.
Farrell makes the play that time because he knocks the blocker down, creates that congestion, no place for the ball carrier to go, and he actually just kind of trips over Farrell as the rest of the Trojans dive in on the pile. Great job by Farrell.
Again, a high snap. Gooding comes in, gets punched out of there by Latard. A good kick. Credible fielded at his 23. Hand off to Doyon, a sea of green there, and he'll be knocked right out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Jeff Valier, number 40, in on the tackle. But getting back, I was trying to finish my call there. Chris Tabor at the bottom of the pile. Down and dirty in the trenches. He's spitting, he's biting, he's kicking.
He's the man. It's game day. He's in a foul move.
It's game day!
Okay, Varad.
Sorry, folks, we had to get that out.
Our hero.
Sports God. Farrell. All Sports 1440, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
He's the man.
Every morning. You're the man, 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 you're the one, you're the one, you're the one. Hit off Carey. Carey breaks off the left side, picks up a couple. But again, if you're into sports and you like some good sports humor, and it's a great call-in show, and the man is unbelievable. Mark, I turned you on to him, and
He's great, I'll tell you. And the thing is, he's comical, but the man knows his sports, and he has a way of presenting it that you can actually sit there and listen to him and enjoy his show.
he is fun. So again, if you're into it, check it out. 6 to 10 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday. Cardo on the option. Dangerous pitch out there, and Massey with some good running afterwards.
Ramos almost knocking that pitch down. Massey somehow able to hold on to the football. And Thornton Academy really very fortunate right there, coming up with about a 4-yard pickup.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and 4 now for the Thornton Academy offense. Leading 7-0, 5:25 to play, second quarter. Doyon and Sorois come to the near side of the field, I formation. The handoff goes to Carey in the middle. Rick Carey busting. He'll be very, very close. He takes an extra shot at the end.
From the spot he has it, he had to get it to the 30-yard line. He has a first down.
Now, did you see the same hit that I did? Because Sean Burns comes in, Carey's down. They've blown his whistle. He comes in and pounds him backwards well after the play's over. I kind of wonder about that one.
Well, we saw the first time these two teams played, things did get a little bit chippy, a little extracurricular after the whistle. Let's hope that things don't go in that direction here this afternoon.
First down and 10. Thornton with the ball at their own 30. Massey inside, a nice jump move over the line of scrimmage. He gets 7 yards. Kevin Massey running strong.
And what would the Trojans like here? They'd like to take up the remaining 4 minutes and 30 seconds plus, drive the football down the field, chew up the entire clock, and able to punch one in. Massabesic will be receiving the ball in the second half. And Thornton Academy, if they were able to go in with the 2-touchdown lead at halftime, certainly momentum strongly favoring them.
A 2nd and 3 now. Credo drops back to pass, looks out in the flat, fires out for Sorois. Good coverage out there by Tangway. And Credo did a good job avoiding the rush and dumping it out where only Sorois could possibly catch it. And that'll bring up 3rd and 2 now. A gamble by Coach Agresti there. And now we'll see if Thornton Academy can still pick up the first down.
On that type of pass play, though, Jay, that's a quick 2-3 step drop, throw it. And what happened when Ramos was coming in from that far side, that forced Crotto to take some extra steps. Corner comes up, covers Sorois.
3rd down and 2. Carey goes to the strong side of the field, and he's hammered right down. Right there is, I believe, 73, Greg Terrell, along with Ramos, and a loss of a 1.5 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 4th and punting situation.
Kind of surprised right now on that type of call that Crotto doesn't keep the ball and use his speed to the outside. Obviously, the Mustangs looking for Carey in a 3rd and short. Got to mix up those offensive calls to keep that defense off balance.
Burgess in a punt, stands back at his own 25. High snap, Burgess with plenty of time, gets a low lining kickoff, but a good one into the wind. Good coverage out there by Gooding, and Gooding will down it at the 33-yard line, where Massabesic will have it with 3:25 to play first half. You're watching Thornton football on CTV 30.
And what's been the difference really in this first half, once again, is that Thornton Academy defense doing a much better job this time around of containing the strong running game of Massabesic.
Latart brings them out, split backfield with Noble and Simmons. Looking for the pass, fires out for Tangway. He's got him. Tangway cuts inside, brought down by Crutto and Boudreau, but he'll pick up 5 on the play, and a good little pass play for the confidence of your quarterback, Kevin Latart, who has had problems throwing the football throughout the season.
Quick opener, those type of plays, usually very successful. Don't give the defense a chance to adjust to anything. And now they'll probably go back to their running game. A good first down pickup for the Massabesic Mustangs.
2nd and 5, the ball at the 38-yard line. Tangway comes to the near, forward to the far. Tart hands to Noble. Noble's got some room on the outside. Now he cuts back inside. And a good job by Trudeau along with Nassie.
Well, I was about to say, as that play started, I was going to think, hey, Trudeau got pushed to the inside, but he was able to fight through that blocker and get to the outside, force the running back to cut it back to the inside toward pursuit. Nice job by Jared Trudeau.
The outset, that play looked like it was going to go for at least 10 to 15. It only goes for 3. 3rd down and 1. Ball at the 41. Handoff inside, and Simmons busts through for a gain of 5.
But I'll tell you what, right now, first down for Massabesic. But if they want to break that goal line prior to this first half, we're looking at about a minute 50 right now. They're going to have to put that football in the air because they're not going to get it done on the ground. They just don't have enough time.
Coach Greg Stilfen takes a timeout for his offense. And with that timeout, we'll take a timeout. Our score, Thornton Academy 7, Massabesic nothing. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30. Welcome back to Hill Stadium. 1st down and 10 for the Stangs. Latart rolling out with time, looking downfield, fires it deep, way overthrown. My goodness.
Lordy, lordy, no one home.
The ball was out, but nobody was home. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
And this is where Massabesic has had problems and where Thornton Academy is very strong. The Trojans know the Mustangs are going to have to throw the football to get it done. Great quickness on the corners by Crotto and Sorois, and of course Summers able to just kind of play center field back there, come over wherever help is needed.
2nd and 10, a minute 47 to play first half. Thornton Academy leading 7-0. Latart fakes, rolling out, he's got pressure, fires out in the flat. Ramos was there, but he couldn't hang on.
Nassie diving, getting his hand in front of the face of Ramos.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. A minute 42, only 5 ticks go off the clock. And Massabesic now with a big 3rd down play, because if they go for it in the air, don't get the first down, they'll give Thornton Academy enough time to make some noise before the half ends.
And if they run and don't pick it up, Thornton Academy most certainly will burn a timeout.
Tangway flanked to the near side. Letarte has him in the eye in the backfield. Simmons, the fullback. Noble, the tail. They go to the draw play right there to meet it up and make the tackle. Greg Lamar.
Lamar and Tabor, the two gentlemen you spoke about earlier, immense in the front of that offensive line, smelling that out, and I'm very surprised that Thornton Academy is not calling a timeout.
Definitely should. 4th down and 12.
And
Clock ticking down to a minute 15. A good 20 seconds blown off the clock. Pressure coming in, and they get him, and the flag comes down. Crotto fields it, gets out of bounds at the 20, but Ryan Summer ran into the punter Noble, and Massabesic with a minute 4. Now it's a good thing they didn't call the timeout, because that might have given him less time. The defense definitely will be back.
The question is, if you call a timeout, do you go to try and block it, or do you set up return?
Exactly. When you call the timeout, I would set up the return, because you still have a minute 30 on the clock. Gooding and Summer with pressure to Noble, and Ryan Summer ran into him. And that'll give Massabesic a shot before the half with a minute 4 to play. They have a first down now at Thornton Academy's 41-yard line. Massabesic with 2 timeouts left. Tangway comes to the near side. Ford to the far. Letarte to throw, fires out for Tangway. Overthrown, coverage by Boudreau.
Thornton Academy defense just all over the receivers for Massabesic. Had double coverage right out here on Ramos, out on the flat.
Very little question that Massabesic's weakness is their passing game. And in this situation, it's very tough for them if they got to score in a hurry. They like to ground it up, grind it out. Once again, Tangway comes flanked to the near. Get an official's timeout now. He wants to check the 50-50 tickets, make sure he got one before the half's over. He's all set.
Won't be much of a pot here this afternoon.
Massabesic's brought it almost as many as Thornton has. 2nd and 10. Letarte hands to Noble. Noble breaks into the secondary. Down to the 25. Cuts outside. Breaks the tackle. Summer comes over and knocks him out of bounds. But not till he gets to the 14-yard line.
Great job by Massabesic on the left side, sealing that inside, not allowing middle linebackers to come over in the gaps. And then a good job of getting the ball down the field. And Jay, 52 seconds remaining here. Massabesic could make that penalty on Thornton Academy hurt, and hurt very badly.
And again, Thornton should have been looking for the run play, because Massabesic's passing game is so inept that you know their passing game is a good running game, and there it was. Made a nice move on Soroyce to get outside, and then Summer knocked him out of bounds. Burns goes in motion. Tart on the option, pounded, the ball loose in the backfield. Gooding after it, the ball still free, the Trojans got it. Second time today, a bad pitch, and Jared Trudeau gets the recovery.
Well, this time Knox comes down the line quickly and forces that quick pitch. Wild pitch at that.
And boy, Nassie almost had it on the fly.
I like what I'm seeing right now, and I know you do too.
Exactly. Now they bring out Burgess. Crotto will move to the wideout. Doyon will come out. Why not?
Throw that football down the field.
Let's see what Burgess has got. And the crowd comes to its feet. 1st and 10. Burgess drops back, letting it fly. Crotto's out there trying to jump now, and it's knocked down. Flag is down on the play. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Coach Agresti come with Burgess in the second half. And I'll tell you, I was the one saying all week, you got this controversy, they're both ready. Come with Crotto, start with Crotto, okay? Now, if Crotto fails or falters just a little bit, he hasn't failed, of course. He has faltered slightly. The offense hasn't moved, okay? You come with Burgess. Burgess comes in, does the job. Great, you're all set. Things are rolling, no problem. Crotto moves to the outside. He's a senior, he's a leader. He doesn't take that personally, and you go with him. But if you started with Burgess, and Burgess has trouble getting the offense going, you come with Crutto, then that could affect his confidence. So now you got a nice thing here, and it'll be interesting to see how Coach Agresti goes with it in the second half. First and 15, they hand off to Carey, and he is just wrapped up and hauled down. Gary Suey, 64, the Suey boys are right there in the middle.
Really nothing different happening this afternoon that didn't happen the first time they played. Thornton Academy not able to run the football, but I think what happened that first time is you saw the arm of Burgess able to be successful in going to Crotto. And in the second half, right now, I'd have to say Burgess will be getting the nod, get Crotto back to the outside, get that throwing game back in sync.
Trojans come off. That'll do it in the first half. We played 24 minutes of football in Saco. And Thornton Academy with the very slim 7-0 lead over the Massabesic Mustangs. We'll take our halftime break. We'll be back right after this. No, I'll just do it. What about Thornton? There's Thornton.
There's nothing.
Okay, quiet. What are you doing? Breathing in. Stop breathing in. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette. Tri-captains for Thornton Academy, Tabor, Crutto, and Ryan Summer. Down conversing with the tri-captains of the Massabesic Mustangs. Thornton Academy leading 7-0. And Massabesic will start with the football in the second half, and these Trojans better come to life because you know the Stangs are feeling very good about being only down 7-0. They're still very much in this ball game, and the Trojans have to bring it forth in the second half.
Twofold here. Thornton Academy offensively gonna have to open things up a little bit in the second half, start exploiting the outside and get to that pass game. That's where Thornton has been very effective this year. But you look on the defensive side of the ball, 6 quarters played, and the Massabesic offense has yet to score on the Trojans, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why the Trojans have come out and played a little bit on the conservative side in the first half.
Thornton will kick off. They'll have the wind at their backs in the third quarter, and they need to take advantage of that. Looking at stats in that first half, not much. The key stat is Chris Noble. He ran all over Thornton Academy last time out. This time, 9 rushes for only 20 yards. Simmons, 6 for 33. Simmons has been the go-to guy to keep him off balance, and Latart, 2 for 6 for 13 yards passing. Trudeau kicks it off, fielded by Noble at the 21-yard line. Tries to break outside. He gets stood up, met, and hauled down at the 35-yard line. And then looking at Thornton Academy's stuff, Rick Carey at 9 for 23, a very disappointing afternoon for Rick Carey, as what we're used to seeing for him. Carey only 9 for 23, Massey 6 for 24, Crutto 3 for -14, that 1 sack and the fumble. Ryan Summer 1 for 3, Crutto 2 for 6, and of course 53 yards, the 42 yards coming on the touchdown pass to Kevin Massey. First and 10, they hand off to Simmons. Simmons fights in the middle. He'll get 3.5. Burgess threw 1 pass in that half. He was 0 for 1. That's the stats. Not much offense in that first half. Good defense by both clubs. And if I'm Coach Agresti, I see Burgess warming up down below. I bring him to start the second half. I go on top. I mix it up. Get Crutto the outside, get Soroyce, and try to kickstart the offense. Massabesic, keep it on the ground, but really need to make something happen. Handoff up the middle. There goes Noble. Nice tackle by Soroyce, because if he doesn't make the tackle, he's off for 15 yards. Chris Sear comes out. Trudeau back in. Trudeau sits out after the kickoff a couple of plays, and Chris Sear, the senior, gets a couple of calls at defensive end. 3rd and short for Massabesic. It's grown cloudy and cold in Saco. Beautiful afternoon has now turned into a dim, dark, and very cool afternoon. Simmons dives. He'll have the first down. Massey, along with Tabor, in on the stop for the Trojans. but they'll move the chains. And on that chain gang, you look down, boy, those guys have been outstanding all season long. You got Wally, of course, the Wagster, the Wagonmeister, the Wagon Wheel.
He's the man.
He the man. Talking Wild Bill. And then, of course, you got Arthur Tardif, the Artster, the Art Man. And then Stetson, the Lloyd. Lloyd Stetson, he wears the cologne and he hauls the chains. Handoff Noble right into the secondary. Huge hole off that right side. He gets 7 yards.
And that's precisely what the Mustangs want to do on first down, pick up the big chunks of yardage, and that plays very well into their game plan, which they like to do one thing, run the football.
And if I look at this game from a spectator, as we do, and I looked at the second half as we open up, Massabesic had all kinds of intensity. Thornton Academy came out flat, just as they did against Biddeford in the second half, a little bit in despair because they're only leading by 7. The handoff in the middle, good job by Boudreaux as he makes the tackle on Simmons. Simmons only gets 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and a long 3. But again, back to the chains. Bill Wagner, Art Tardif, and Lloyd Stetson working the chains all year. Volunteer work, doing a great job. And we've been plugging Wag all season long. We figured we'd get the plugs in for Art, who does the ball marker, and Stetson on the front end of the chains.
Massabesic now burning a timeout very early here in the 3rd quarter.
I think Coach Stilfen really feels like he needs to have something on this opening drive of the second half that could really set the tone for the rest of the contest. And he comes out to talk to his offense. And with that timeout, we'll take a timeout with 9:02 to play. 3rd quarter, Thornton Academy 7, Massabesic nothing. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Hills Stadium. A big 3rd down and a long 3 for Massabesic. They send double receivers to the far side. Now Ramos shifts over a strong right formation, obviously. Hit off to the deep man Noble, and he bursts into the secondary. He'll have the 1st down. A gain of 6 on the play, and an excellent run by the Mustangs, and good blocking on that right side. Boy, they're getting the job done. Jonathan Gallant and Mark Sanborn, along with, of course, the big burly tight end Ed Ramos. And there is some big boys up front for the Mustangs, and deep inside Thornton territory now at the 41-yard line. Again, it's Noble busting outside. Rick Carey there to turn him around and push him back. Noble will get 4 on the 1st down rush.
You also had Greg Lamar down in at the ankles, holding on. Still a good positive pickup for Massabesic on 1st down. And the thing about this style of offense is when you don't throw the football, it's hard to get that long, consistent drive going without making mistakes.
Adam Ford comes to the near side. Tangway to the far. Handoff in the middle. It'll be Noble, and he gets only about a yard. Tackled by Nassie, Lamar, and DeSimone and Carey all in on the stop. And that'll bring up 3rd and we'll call it 5. It's in between the 4 and 5 yard.
2-down territory though, Jay.
You would think so at the 36, but we've seen a lot of coaches around the league be ultra conservative and punt it away.
You look at tendencies, you got to watch for the fake to the fullback and then the give to Noble.
They do exactly that. Noble breaks in, pushes forward. He'll be very close. He should have it.
3rd down tendency of the Mustangs is to do just that. Give the ball to their best back after a fake. And I do believe they're going to pick up that 1st down.
I don't even think they need a measurement. I can see from this vantage point, yes. They'll give him the 1st down. And Noble now with his 2nd deepest penetration of the afternoon. They had one drive get all the way to Thornton Academy's 14, but then had the errant pitch out on second down, and Thornton Academy came up with the fumble recovery.
And it's time for that Trojan defense. Someone to step up, make a big play, get the ball back for their offensive team.
You look at Thornton's sideline, they're all just standing around, nobody into this thing. Guys, this is a semifinal playoff game. Hand off to Noble, and Nassie's gonna bring him in with a nice play. He'll haul down Chris Noble for a gain of about a half a yard. And Thornton Academy has a player down, and it's Tabor. My goodness. Just what you don't want to see.
They can ill afford to lose a player like Tabor, especially against a team like Massabesic, who loves to run that football up the middle.
And then if you get by a Massabesic and play the Biddeford Tigers, who are now leading 29-0 in the third quarter, you don't want to have a player of his magnitude out. And Thornton Academy has had a player of that magnitude out every single year they played Biddeford. And the last 3 years that we've been covering Thornton Academy football, LeBlanc and Agresti, the list goes on, and hopefully nothing serious to Chris Tabor. He's gonna get up now, and let's see what happens. Walking very gingerly. I think he looks like a twist of that right ankle.
Well, the good thing, Jay, is that he's up and walking off. And hopefully that's the type of thing where as he walks around on the sidelines, he's able to loosen that thing up.
That should bring Lamar and Verrill in for the DTs for the Trojans. A 2nd and 10 now. It is Lamar and Verrill now in the middle. Massabesic split backfield. Letard on the option, and he's ripped up and hauled down. Trudeau steals the ball. He's got it. What a play!
Trudeau tackles football all the way. You had Nassie there also. He's able to strip the ball free. And just as we stated, when you're on a long type of running, that's the type of thing that happens when you can't throw the football, pick up a couple of first downs. Great job by Trudeau, Jay.
I don't know why Coach Stilfen uses that play. They've used it 3 times today. They've had 2 bad pitches, and now another fumble as Trudeau takes it away from quarterback Letarte, and Burgess is out at QB, just as we called for. And let's see what the Trojan offense can do. First down, handoff to Massey. Massey, a short gain on the left side. Suey and Noble in on the stop.
And again, we talk about tendencies, going to what works. That first game, what Thornton Academy did so effectively, throwing the football to Corrado and Soroyce, driving the man down the field, pulling up for that 8 or 10-yard reception. They have to respect the receiver's speed, and I think that's something that will definitely work against these Mustangs again this afternoon.
2nd and 9, Burgess at the QB, drops back, stumbles, back up, lofting it out for Corrado. Corrado streaking out, and the ball out of bounds on the far side of the field. Tangway with coverage. And now, everyone looking for Corrado, you got to look back to your other guy, Soroyce. Let's use him and see if Massabesic can adjust to that passing play, because of course Soroyce has proven he is a man to go to. He had big catches in the game against Massabesic the last time, and last week sensational was Jeremy Soroyce. A 3rd and 9 with 6:10 to play, third quarter. Massabesic using 5.5 minutes on that drive, but come up empty once again. Shifting, Soroyce cutting over the middle, the ball thrown in between. A bump and no call. Massabesic confused on the coverage. Thornton Academy had a golden opportunity.
Well, they're going to say that's incidental contact, perhaps prior to the ball being thrown. Soroyce trying to cut over the middle in a slant, which is definitely open. That middle very soft for Massabesic. Next time Thornton Academy gets the ball, I think they need to look at more of the over the middle and shorter routes.
Burgess drops back to punt. Back to receive, Letarte along with DiLorenzo. Movement on that far side. We'll have a flag.
Well, there's 5 quick ones.
But that'll still put Thornton at a 4th and at least 3.
Well, that play worked. Let's do it again.
Yeah, we get 2 in a row. Mustangs commit 2 consecutive. Coach Stilfen will have them doing push-ups on the sideline. 4th and 4, and Thornton again in punting formation. Gooding and Doyon, the out guys who will chase down and try to get to the punt guy first. Good punt by Burgess. Bounces and rolls out of bounds at the 28-yard line. And Massabesic will set up first down and 10. 5:56 to play in the third. Still, Thornton Academy 7, Massabesic nothing. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30. Trudeau has been brilliant this afternoon.
Great
2 fumble
defensive game.
recoveries for sure, and maybe 3. We didn't get the number on that first one. It could have been Trudeau or DeSimone, and we'll check after the game to find out. Letarte to throw on first down, and Tangway has it go right in and out of his hands, then takes a lick from Cruddo. Again, the best thing for Thornton is if Massabesic opts to throw the football.
Because they don't like throwing the football up the field, Jay. They're going to throw those little short outs. Even had he caught that ball, so Royce was right on him. It'd been a very short gain.
Well, Cruddo was the one on him. If Sir Royce could have got over that, that would have been a heck of a job by
He's
Jeremy.
quick.
He is quick.
Jeremy's quick.
Not quite that quick. 2nd and 10. Hand off to Noble, breaks into the secondary, still going. And he'll have a Massabesic first down.
The Trojans had him stopped for about a 3-yard gain, but that strength of Noble able to keep the leg drive going and picking up a first down for the Mustangs. And once again, in this second half, it appears that the Trojan defense has that bend but don't break mentality, giving up the yardage but able to come up with the big turnover.
Ball at Massabesic's 39-yard line. Letarte sends Tangway to the far. Adam Ford comes to the near side. Handoff again to Noble. Noble again finds a hole, breaks into the secondary. Tackled by Nassi, but not until he picks up 13 yards and another Massabesic first down.
And a great blocking scheme by the Mustangs, not allowing the Trojan inside linebackers to come up, fill gaps. And if the Trojan linebackers aren't able to do that, this is what's going to happen. Massabesic, second half, looking very impressive offensively, moving the football.
Chris Tabor down, getting ice to the ankle. Verrill and Lamar now at the defensive tackle positions. 1st and 10. The throw again for Tangway. Cruddo comes up, grabs an ankle, and hauls him down. A gain of 2 on the play.
And I just don't understand that call. Massabesic picking up big chunks of yardage on the ground. True, you like to throw the football occasionally. Very dangerous pass there. It was with Cruddo's speed. If he's able to come up on Tangway quickly, he makes that pick. He's gone.
Second and 8. Ford comes flanked to the near side. Tangway to the far. Eye in the back for the Mustangs. Hand off to Noble. Not much that time. Lamar in there along with Boudreaux and Knox. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 now.
And could we once again see that fake to Simmons and hand off to Noble? True, we're looking at about 7 yards or a long 6. But again, if Massabesic gets the ball close enough to that first down marker on 4th down, they could very well go.
80% of the teams in high school football, this would be an obvious passing situation. I would say this is an obvious run situation for the Mustangs. 3rd down and 7. Fake. Letarte does throw, rolling out. Now he looks to run it. Bounces outside, cuts back. He'll be knocked down by Verrill and well short of the first down. The ball will be spotted at the 42-yard line, and you would think Coach Stilfen, trailing only by 7, would still have to punt it away.
And in this situation, if I Thornton Academy, I make sure that we cover all the receivers or possible receivers that would be coming out of that backfield. Would not be surprised by a Massabesic fake.
Cruddo, the only man back. Noble to punt. End over end kick away from Cruddo. Good kick. It'll go out of bounds. Let's see where they'll spot it. And they'll spot it right where it rolled out, even though it was a couple yards over the end line. Thornton will take over at its own 11. An excellent punt by Chris Noble. A punt of 31 yards, no return yards, and Massabesic has Thornton Academy pinned inside their own zone with 3:04 to play, third quarter.
Wind at their backs for 3 more minutes, and Thornton Academy has got to pick up a couple of first downs here. Can't be punting the ball from that location.
Burgess hands off to Kerry. Kerry bouncing outside. He's in trouble. Got to watch the goal line. He'll be rushed back and knocked back. Massabesic looking for a safety. Come on, guys. Kerry, though, will lose 8 yards all the way back to the 4-yard line. They spot him, a very advantageous spot for Thornton Academy. Looked like the 2 might have been a better spot, but they give him it at the 4, a loss of 7 yards. And Rick, after bouncing outside, gave up on the outside run and stopped. I think he should have kept going to the outside. He might have gotten around the corner. Now Thornton deep inside. Hand off to Kerry. Kerry breaks into the secondary. Good tackle over there by Corey Woodsum as he comes up and knifes down Kerry. And that'll bring up 3rd and 12. 2:15 to play, third quarter.
Bread and butter time, folks. Go to what got you there.
Thornton Academy's offense has been nil this afternoon. One big play, and that's it. Burgess goes on the option, and Burgess on the run will get 5, get it out to the 13-yard line. Burgess takes a hit on the knee, gets up. It appears okay. And now Thornton will have to punt it away, and Massabesic will get great field position. And the clock winding down to 1:25. If they can just run a couple of plays, they'll get the wind at their back. Not that it really affects their offense too much.
But it's a fact that Thornton Academy has the wind in their face if they need to throw the football.
High snap, Burgess fields it, not much pressure, gets a booming kickoff way over the head of Latar, but then he doesn't get the good bounce.
Great job, though. Great job getting that ball out. Beautiful boot. And I think it's safe to say right now, Thornton Academy is putting this ball game square in the hands of their defense.
Massabesic will take over, 1st and 10 at their own 39, 1:15 to play, third quarter. You're watching Thornton football on CTV 30. Massabesic has owned this third quarter, but they have nothing to show for it. Latar brings them out in the eye. Latar fakes, rolling out. He's got all kinds of room. He's going to run the football. Clip, and they don't get it. Yes, they get the clip. An obvious clip. And a foolish block.
Unbelievable.
By number 75, John Gallant. He came down and hammered Nasty in the back. And that'll be a clipping call, but from the point of infraction, won't put the Stangs in too bad situation.
It'll still put them in a beyond that 10-yard, and once again, they pick up a great first down pickup where they would have been probably second and very short, maybe 2, and a very ill-advised clip. And it really had no effect on the play.
Exactly. And I believe the block came against Nasty, and Dave Nasty did an outstanding job because he saw the block coming and he just turned a little bit more. It would have been a clip regardless, but he turned to make it a real obvious clip, and you could see it from here, high above Hill Stadium. We got a great view, and the back official makes the call. It's 1st down and 18 for the Mustangs. Hand off to Noble. Noble spins, breaks one tackle, gets it out to the 36-yard line, brought down by Verrill and Summer.
DeSimone shooting gap between guard and tackle, making the initial hit, slowing him down enough to allow the other Trojans to come in. No pickup at all, a very short pickup, I should say.
2nd now and 14. Coach Stilfen over talking to his quarterback, taking a lot of time. I believe they're going to have to use a timeout in this situation. They're letting the quarter run out smartly. And that completes 3 full quarters in Saco, and we still have a 7-0 ball game Thornton Academy leading the Massabesic Mustangs. We'll take a break. Be back with the final 12 minutes of semifinal playoff action on CTV 30.
Ladies and gentlemen, pick out your 50-50 tickets.
Back at Hill Stadium, Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette, cameraman Dennis Avery and Nanook Pickard. We get a shot of him, Dennis. Let's get a shot of him down the sideline. Let's zoom in on the hat. That's why we're calling him Nanook today. You get a good look at Jacques down there with the Nanook hat roaming the sideline, taking a break in the second half. Thinks he's on vacation down there. And of course, what does the cameraman do? Goes talk to another cameraman from another station. And Pickard obviously throwing the bull. He's like, I'm the best cameraman around. What do you guys run for equipment? Are you kidding me? We got a $12,000 cameraman. You know, we got it all. We're in a foul mood. Set to start. Fourth quarter action. A 2nd and 14 now facing the Mustangs. Tangway comes to the near side, forward to the far. Letarte with a pitch. They're looking for a reverse. Pitch back to the quarterback. Throwing deep. He's out there, but there's Summer. Summer up and knocks it away.
And he's looking for a flag, but no way. That ball was up there for the Pickens. Summer able to stay back at home. Nice attempt by the Mustangs to catch the Trojans off guard. And I'll tell you, had they run that end around, they would have had better success because Thornton Academy didn't have outside containment on the far side of that field.
The Massabesic offensive line had more blocks on that one than your little nephew with his rolling blocks at home. They hammered the Thornton Academy defense. There was 5 Trojans down flat on their back. Stang offensive line just went ballistic on that play. It's 3rd and 14. Letarte runs the counter with Simmons, and oh, Nelly!
How do you do?
Rick Carey takes him and plants him 4 yards deep. What a shot!
Hopefully he'll come up next spring with the summer squash. And oh my, 3rd and 14 and a straight handoff, straight run play. Carey, not to be fooled.
They do grow summer squash in Waterboro, a lot of it. Noble to kick, he has the win now. End over end kick, they should come up and field it. Watch the bounce. Doyon gets it, gives it to Crotto, look out! Could have the corner, 1 block, but there's DiLorenzo to make the nice tackle on Crotto. And a good job out there by Gooding. Gooding came up and had to put a block, and I think it was on either Noble or...
It was on Ramos.
Ramos, and boy, he took on a big load. He certainly took Ramos out of the play, but he sacrificed his body. The Trojans, again, been deep inside their own territory, and Coach Agressi comes back one more time with Andy Burgess. And I wouldn't rule out bringing Crotto back. Just because you've gone to Burgess now, if it doesn't work, you can still come back with Crotto and run your option game to the outside. And off to Massey, breaks into the secondary, breaks again, and gets it all the way out to the 26-yard line.
There you go.
A gain of 13 on the play. And Kevin Massey gets Thornton Academy's best pickup of the second half.
They go over Harder and Fisk on that left side. Good job of blocking. Massey hitting that hole very quickly. And Jay, I don't want to be redundant here, but Crotto is still going to be open on that flat if they elect to go to him.
Just throw the quick screen. The quick screen to either Crotto or Sorois on first down, and let's see what they can do on the outside.
They've got single coverage with Tangway on Crotto. He's going to be respecting the speed, as we've said all season, down on that deep route. And how many times have we seen Crotto pull up short for that 8 or 10-yard reception? Burgess right on the money. Of course, if Thornton Academy is able to start running the football successfully, of course, they will elect to keep the ball on the ground and run that clock down.
And again, though, Tangway, their best cover man, wouldn't mind seeing him come to Sorois. They hand off again. Rick Carey this time. Carey bowls his way into the secondary. He'll get 5, maybe 6. And Thornton Academy's running game starting to intensify, and the crowd on the home side now starting to get back into this one.
And most impressive right now, the Trojan running game looking a little better. Who are they going over? The big sophomore, Greg Lamar, at that left offensive tackle spot. Lamar having an outstanding season. Let's see if the Trojans can continue to move the ball on the ground.
2nd and 4. Rick Carey again in the middle. He'll get 3. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Fisk and Peralt leading the way on that one. And Carey falls behind, and he gets a nice 2nd down gain. It'll bring up 3rd and very short.
Power backfield for the Trojans coming in.
I hate to see that against this Massabesic defense. They are big and they are tough. They've already shut down Thornton Academy once on a 4th and inch play. And let's see what they do on 3rd and inches. This time, Carey, 2nd effort, maybe.
I believe he's got the spot.
It'll be very close. I think on this one we will get a measurement. Boy, that's very, very close. And they move it ahead without a measurement. Really? Wag, Artie, and Stetson taking the afternoon off. They haven't had to make an appearance out here yet. 1st and 10. Burgess brings them out in the eye. Burgess to throw on 1st down. Fired out, and it's blocked. Burgess catches it and gets hammered. A loss of 5. He would have been better off to just knock it down.
Absolutely on that play. But I think that's just instincts.
Of
Ball
course.
comes back and you catch the ball.
Of course.
And Corrado was open. He had pulled up about the 45-yard line. Had at least a 4 or 5 yard cushion, but a great job on that left side. Was that Ramos once again?
I would have to guess it was. I didn't get a number. It was either him or number 73, Tyrell.
Tell you, this kid Ramos is something.
He is a player, folks. He reminds me of John Gucci of Edward Little last year. Burgess to throw, fires over the middle, and Valier had a chance to pick it as he had coverage on his counterpart, number 40, Massey.
Oh my, how fortunate can you get?
And Thornton, just when it looked like they were going to start a drive, looking at a big 3rd down and 16. Boy, this game has been a game of knots. A lot of knots happening. Burgess to pass. Has time. Fires out in the middle. Got Sorois. Sorois, though, knocked back short of the 1st down. Suey out there along with Woodsum and Simmons. And that'll bring out a 4th and 3. Or let's see where they spot him. It'll be 4th and 3.
They're going to punt the football, no question. The way Burgess is booting the ball and the way their defense has been playing here this afternoon.
You would really have to keep it on the conservative side, punt it away. Your defense has been doing the job. You can't gamble, give them great field position. Massabesic, let's check the numbers. They're sending in DiLorenzo very late. A high snap. Burgess very athletically up to get it and boom it away. Great play by Burgess. Ball fielded and then smothered is Kevin Latarte. Gooding, along with Maynard, I believe, in on the stop.
Not many chances left for the Mustangs this afternoon. They're going to have to get it done and get it done quickly.
Great athletic play by Burgess. The bad knee and all, the big burly brace on the knee, and he's up in the air. He had to be up at least 22 inches, Paquette. His vertical leap was outstanding, makes the catch, and then presence to get off a good punt. Massabesic has it 1st and 10 at their own 27. Fake the counter, rolling out is Latarte. Looks downfield, fires out over the middle. Ford's there, does he make the catch?
Incomplete.
Good coverage by Dave Nassy.
And really good protections by the Mustangs, giving Latarte plenty of time to throw that football. Of course, with that little play action and roll right, that does buy him some time.
Obviously, with a running team, as Massabesic runs so frequently, a good play action fake will buy you a lot of time, and then he rolls out on top of that. So Latarte certainly did have a lot of time. 2nd and 10. Massey comes out as sole coverage on the near side with Ford. The pitch comes this way. Simmons drops the ball in the backfield, then has to fall on it. DeSimone there to cover up, and Josh DeSimone, a great job. Looked for the big hit and realized at the last minute he did have possession and rolled off the stick, avoiding a personal foul, late hit. And again, that pitch play has really hurt Massabesic all afternoon long. That time it just looked like it was slightly behind Simmons, but he should have handled that ball.
Definitely a ball you have to handle, hit him right in the hands.
7:10 to play in the contest. Thornton Academy leading 7-0. The winner goes to Biddeford for the Western A Final. Loser, done. Did it, won't be back. Pitch goes to Simmons, and he is met and stuck and knocked to the turf. Rick Carey one more time. Boy, we've had some outstanding play this afternoon defensively for the Trojans. Carey and Trudeau have been brilliant, and the rest of the team not shabby either.
And this is where the Trojans can put the game away. Good field position. They're able to punch one in. That would just about do it.
High booming kick. Doyon will field it. Goes to the outside, breaks one tackle, cuts inside, spins off, puts two hands on the ball. Excellent job by the junior, Christian Doyon. Gets it down inside Massabesic territory at the 47-yard line.
Good job by Doyon, first fielding the ball, breaking 3 tackles, getting the ball upfield, 10 additional yards for the Trojans, getting them over midfield. And now we know what we're going to see here.
Power football, you would think.
Massabesic with only 2 timeouts left. I believe they burned one early in that 3rd quarter.
They did. 1st and 10, Saroyce to the near, Cruddo flank to the far, Burgess on the option. Holds on and hauled down. Boy, that looked like a face mask. Maybe it wasn't. That official right on top of it. So obviously he must have had a high shoulder pad. Loss of 2 on the play. And if I'm gonna run the option, why not use Cruddo on 1st down and run the option? Come back with switch your quarterbacks in and out. Why not?
They're both in the offense, so I suppose you could do that.
Easily, run them in and out. 2nd down now, you want to pass it, come back with Burgess. 2nd and 12. The handoff goes to Massey and nothing happening. And this is gonna draw a lot of moans from the home side. Thornton Academy picks up 1 or 2 first downs. They seal this in the W column. If they don't, they have to punt it away, and still plenty of time for Massabesic. Even with their ball control offense, they could still get it down the field, and the defense has had to do it all day. I guess why not go right to the wire with your defense? Cruddo goes to the far side, Saroyce to the near. Pitch goes to Massey. Massey rolling out, cuts it up inside. Ew, nice move, and he'll be very close to the 1st down.
They go
what a
for it.
run, what a run.
And that's what we've been waiting for all afternoon. Massabesic stacking things to the outside, inside, get to the outside. You see Massey with a good cut to the inside. I feel Thornton Academy has to go for it here. Of course, they could be thinking, punt the ball, get it down deep. You gotta have confidence in your offensive line, 4th and short. And Jay, with under 4:30 to go here, this could be the ball game right now if they pick up this 1st down.
Thornton Academy a little bit confused, trying to get their people in. And yes, you could hear the Thornton crowd. You think they wanted to go for it? I think so. But this gives Massabesic's defense now time to adjust. 4th and 1, a ball at the 38-yard line of Massabesic. And Thornton gets this 1st down, they can really chew up another minute and a half, 2 minutes of the clock, and that would put Massabesic in a very difficult situation to have to drive the length of the field with only a couple minutes remaining on the clock.
Yeah, right now the Trojans definitely are going to be in that 4-down territory if they're able to pick up this 1st down.
That was a great run by Kevin Massey. That 3rd down pitch play, he just accelerated to the inside and just put on the burners. He didn't care where he was getting hit from. He just went for it. And he picked up 12 yards and puts Thornton Academy with a 4th and 1. And this, the play of the game right now, there's been many along the way, but this certainly a huge, huge play, because if they don't pick it up, Thornton Academy's momentum will shift back to the Mustangs. Trojans don't use a huddle. They come right out to the line of scrimmage. Power backfield. Thornton using the long count.
They're trying to get him to jump, apparently.
And I'll let the crowd do the talking. Delay of game is marched off. Now at 4th and 6, Burgess the punt. Massabesic bringing men up. The snap's been high all day, and look out. Burgess, miraculous, rolls out, fires it downfield, adjusting to the ball. Does he get it? He does!
And who's there?
Gooding!
And Gooding! Whoa! The snap was high. Burgess able to go up there with his right hand and get it. I do not believe that was a fake call. Coming down, avoiding the rush to the outside, looking for a receiver, and throwing the ball to the outside. Gooding diving. Oh my. I just lost 5 years.
Matt Gooding.
And a few more hairs.
Matt Gooding, what presence, but I'll tell you what, Andy Burgess made the play of the year. What a play. Flags come in, Carey gets hammered to the turf. The ball now at the 19-yard line. Andy Burgess, you're the man.
Please don't tell me that was by design.
It was not. No way in hell, thank you very much, that play was by design. Burgess had to leap. I mean, he did a spectacular job getting it down. He was trying to punt it off. Ramos came flying in his face, and he dodged Ramos, and then looked downfield, and there's Gooding. Mr. Special Teams out, makes a spectacular diving catch going out of bounds. It's just one of the finest plays you'll see all year, to take a broken play and turn it into the play of the game. We'll look to see that on CNN tonight. It's the pod. The pod squad is out. It's a play of the day, folks. Counterplay with Summer. Summer in the secondary, breaking tackle, still on his feet. He nearly broke that one all the way.
And let's think back to the game that Gooding, I believe, got a gut bomb back quite a few games ago. And what did we say in our post game? When the game is on the line and you need a big guy to step up, watch for Gooding to come through on the special teams. Well, not exactly a special teams play, but certainly coming up with a big catch. And Burgess.
Burgess, say it again.
Burgess.
Burgess.
He's the man.
Yeah, the man. That was unbelievable. I'm sorry, folks. That was just one of the greatest athletic plays you'll see. He jumped so high, fielded it with one hand to knock it down. Ramos in his face, not just anybody. We're talking Ramos. He dodges him, fires the ball downfield, off balance, and then Gooding with a spectacular diving catch, keeping both feet in bounds as he slid out of bounds. And Thornton Academy now with a 2nd down and 10 after the penalty and the 5-yard pickup by Summer. A timeout has been called on the field. 3:42 to play. You're watching Thornton Academy football on CTV 30.
I don't think we've been that excited here, Jay, since back when Troy Caron scored his touchdown.
You know, this really has been a very dismal ball game when you really look at it. It's been a defensive struggle, which is nice. But, of course, everyone comes for offense. It's been a game of knots, as we said, but that was not to be for the Stangs because Thornton crowd got what they wanted. They wanted Thornton to go for it on 4th and 1, while Coach Aggresti just said, well, we'll take the 5-yard penalty, we'll move them back 6, we'll make it a little harder, a little more exciting, we'll throw up a high snap, we'll make Burgess leap 12 feet in the air, catch it with one hand while he was chewing gum and looking at the clock, see how much time he had. Then we'll dodge Ramos. We'll run out 3-4 steps. We'll stop. We'll look for Gooding. Couldn't find Gooding because he was hidden behind 3 Massabesic players. Then he sees him the last second, fires it out of bounds. A hand off to Massey. Massey picks up 3 inside.
All those things happen, boy. I missed a lot.
Oh, I'm telling you, you got to pay close attention.
And then throwing the ball, making Gooding, of course, dive for it, adding to the intensity.
Exactly. Coach Aggresti called for that as well. He said, let's get Matt some glory here too. Let's make him dive, look really good, get a little dirty, and let's keep the crowd in this thing. A 3rd down now and 6 facing Thornton Academy. The ball at the 15 of the Mustangs. The clock will move. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the contest. They go to Massey. Massey bounces outside, cuts back inside, gets hit, ball on the field, and the Stangs will have the chance back.
My, oh my, my, oh my. Red zone, got to take care of the football. Hey, we want an exciting finish, Jay. Here you go. The question being, and now this is a big question, can Massabesic throw the football successfully? 2:56 to go. You're not going to run the ball down the field, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, but Thornton has to watch the run because
Exactly.
they will. That's their best thing. They run the ball better than they pass the ball, so a running play is not a bad call by Coach Stilfen. 1st and 10 on the turnover. Massabesic with at their own 15. They got to travel 85 yards to pay dirt. Letarte to throw, looking out, firing for Ford. Tip, picked off by Cruddo. Cruddo with a stiff arm and hauled down by Tangway. But Thornton Academy, we had it last week versus Marshwood. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. Thornton shows their turnover. Massabesic right back, showing us theirs.
Mustangs trying to cross receivers on the near side of the field, trying to go over the middle, tip drill, and Crowder comes up with the pick, and now you know the Trojans are going to keep the ball on the ground.
And again, I like theirs better.
I'll take the score myself.
I like their turnover better. I think theirs was a lemon raspberry meringue filled.
We've definitely been stuffed in the 2 contests against Massabesic and Thornton Academy this year.
Rick Carey, and Rick will be stood up and hauled down. Burns, along with Greg Terrell, take him down. He'll lose a half a yard, but now Thornton Academy can really just keep it on the ground, let the clock wind. Massabesic, I believe, with only 1 timeout remaining, if that. I think they have 1. Burgess now looks to the sideline. Ryan Summerall will bring in the play. And folks, still early in this one to call it, but it looks very good at this point for a Thornton Biddeford 2.
1 first down's all they need.
Every odd year we have a Thornton Biddeford 2. Counterplay with Summer, got room up the middle, no! The ball is on the field and the Stangs got it. Can you believe this?
Honestly, I can't believe it, because you have to be reminding the players in the huddle there's only one thing that we need to take care of. A little ball maintenance, fellas. Hold on to the football.
They are making a good, exciting defensive game, almost comical at this point.
Well, the ball's back in Massabesic's hands, of course, until they juggle it back to Thornton. And we're kidding around here, but there's one thing in my mind that's looming large. They got a touchdown, 2-point conversion. Thornton Academy is sending their equipment back to the locker.
Summer to the near side with coverage along with Cruddo on Tangway. They fire out in the flat, looking for Noble. Noble juggles it off one hand, can't make the catch. Clock stops, 1:05 to play. 2nd and 10 facing the Mustangs. The ball at their own 29-yard line. They trail 7-0, and this has been a second half turnover fest. Still, at the end of the game, we run that play in slow motion, the final cap of the game. We run it in slow motion with the music. Tony, the big guy Vito, I want to see the Burgess punt, catch, avoidance, and throw to Gooding. That's the play I want to see to conclude this one. Letarte looking this way for Ford, firing over the middle. Boy, that ball very close to caught. Letarte's been throwing the ball nicely here in the latter portions of this game. He's just missing his receivers. Some very well thrown balls. The one that was picked, intended for Ford, was a good thrown football, really. He tried to lay that right in the seam, and that nearly a perfect throw, but Ford couldn't hang on. It was tipped, and Cruddo made the interception.
That's a difficult throw to make right there on that one also, because middle linebackers for Thornton Academy are dropping back deep, and you have to kind of hit a seam between linebackers and corners.
Thornton needs a pass rush. They got to watch the draw here, though, on 3rd and 10, too. Letarte now looking, fires for Tangway. Tangway makes the catch. And he'll be knocked out of bounds and very close to the first down, I believe just short. Tangway's run that same route, the non-route, just standing there. And Thornton Academy not adjusting at all to the ball. Didn't want to bite on the short one to go deep. And you kind of have to do that. 53 seconds to play. It'll be 4th and 1.
Smart defense by the Trojans. You don't want to give anything deep. Allow the short stuff. Massabesic still a lot of yardage to cover here. What a surprise.
Well, a lot of people around the state gave Lewiston a very good chance, and I did not.
No chance at all.
Even though Lewiston played a very, very good game against South Portland, they have some weapons offensively. There's only one team that can go over to Biddeford besides Thornton Academy and play a good ball game, and that's South Portland. But they didn't go. The draw play to Noble. Noble in the middle. He's going to be very close.
Great second effort by Noble. He was stopped about 3 yards short. And I believe if you look at the spot, he's going to be short of the first down.
I don't know. I think he's going to have it.
Very close.
My goodness.
Maybe we'll see the Wags.
That's a surprising call on 4th and 1 to try the draw play, and now we'll see that exciting chain gang. The Pretenders sang, back on the chain gang. Ooh, ooh. Let's get close-ups.
I'm going to say short.
Tony Ryan saying short too. Nah, they got it. I was the only one.
You didn't commit yourself, Harper.
I did.
You didn't commit yourself.
I had it. Just like the Knowles are going to pound the Irish, the Golden Domers. We're all over you. We're going to throw haymakers, hit them below the belt. We're going to tackle them upside the head.
Ask Farrell who's going to win that game.
Yeah, Farrell doesn't know everything. Coach Agresti had a chance on that one. In and out of the hands.
And really, Coach Agresti should be coming back to the ball on that one.
Really should have been. That could have been picked off. 41 seconds to play. Disaster right around the corner for Thornton Academy. They've been avoiding it all day, but boy, they have given the Mustangs every opportunity to cash in.
How about just a pick now and get it over with? One more interception, clean this thing up.
Fired over the middle, complete. Ford with some room. And he gets it down to the 43 of Thornton Academy. Adam Ford. And Massabesic uses a timeout. Here's what I don't understand. Why waste the timeout? The chains have to move down the field. The officials stop the clock to move the chains. You get up the line of scrimmage. Now they're just set. You had 10 seconds to have your offense ready. You fire it out. You stop the clock. You save your timeout.
And now that leaves them one timeout. And when you have to throw the football, a sack, anything that happens other than an incompletion or your receiver getting out of bounds, and you're in trouble. Now Stilfen coming on the field. And also right now it gives Morin, coach of Thornton Academy, defensive coach, a chance to go out there and remind his troops of what they want to do. No one behind, allowing everything up front and short.
And let's give a plug for our teenage sports whiz kid now on Harper Sports Talk this week. Paquette, he is related to you. That's what I have a hard time understanding, why he's so smart and talented. Obviously, it's got to be blood from the other side where he gets it from. But
jealousy will get you nowhere.
Guest on the show this week. If you didn't catch it before today's game, you'll be viewing this, of course, Sunday morning. You really missed out. And I just might run it again another week to give Tony the exposure he so deserves. Great job. Had a lot of fun. And I said to a lot of people, just like talking to a sports writer, he knew everything, able to elaborate on all subjects. And a big 1st and 10 now for the Stangs. Letarte airing it out down the sideline. Soroyce with sole coverage. Ford makes the catch.
Soroyce was there. Somehow Ford was able to screen Soroyce out of the way, twist, and come up with that big catch. And now Massabesic coming down, getting on the line of scrimmage.
26 seconds. The chains have to get set, and the clock will start. The ball now at the 13-yard line of the Trojans. Fires it out and stops the clock with 22 seconds. A good job by quarterback Letarte.
He just threw that last pass up for grabs, and a great job by Ford adjusting to the football. Soroyce was all over it.
Are you surprised, as I am, to see in a situation like that, that Soroyce would draw sole coverage out there, wouldn't get any help?
Somewhat surprised, I guess, but being out on the corner, Soroyce has done it all year. Thornton Academy right now.
Got to watch the draw.
And they got to have a pass rush.
You got to watch the draw, too. It's not out of the realm of possibilities to draw it to Noble. Here comes the blitz. It's caught, picked up. Oh, Soroyce almost made the pick.
He did everything he had to do but come up with the ball. Laid back, cutting inside Ford, just missing that interception. And that kind of makes you a little nervous, giving Massabesic another chance. 2 chances.
Third down and 10. 17 seconds to play. Tangway comes to the near side. Ford to the far. Latott looking for Ford again. It's up, out, caught, but out of bounds. My.
Great job by Jason Boudreau getting help from Soroyce coming over. They try to throw the ball up there once again for grabs.
Chris Noble, the intended receiver, made the catch. It was out of bounds. It was Noble, not Ford that time. And Thornton Academy have left us hanging in the balance. Jackson Brown lives in the balance. Burgess up trying to lead the crowd. Massabesic still alive. Massey comes out, sends Cruddo back in. Cruddo should stay out there with Ford. They roll, looking over the middle. Fire tip, big hit, incomplete.
Oh my! That ball,
DeSimone and Carey.
follow the bouncing ball.
And Thornton Academy hangs on with 5 seconds to go. They'll take over on downs.
Jay, when Carey hit the ball, he deflected it towards the outer part of the end zone. Ramos was in the area, but Rick was able to bat the ball down instead of up. Ramos unable to get to it. And I guess we can start breathing again.
Oh, wait a minute. They still got to take a snap.
Oh.
Can you say Joe Pisarczyk?
No. Yeah, the only thing is the Trojans won't be going with a handoff to the fullback.
Well,
They'll be taking a knee.
And Thornton Academy used the timeout.
That's what Coach Agresti's going to say. Do you guys know Joe Pisarczyk?
Coach Agresti, I think, wants to tone it down a minute, calm down, and get his thoughts back and his players as well. Folks, this has been one of the strangest, craziest games of all time. And with that, we'll take a break. 5 seconds to play in the contest. We're back with the final 5 right after this. Back at Hill Stadium, we talked about the thrill at Hill, the war by the shore, the insane on Maine. Well, we've certainly had the insane on Maine. Trojans take the snap, and that'll do it, folks. A hard-fought, bizarre 7-0 win for the Trojans, but they are elated, they are pumped, and they will cross the bridge for yet another Thornton Academy Bedford contest. And we had 10,000 here 2 weeks ago. We'll have 10,000 plus, probably about 12 next week. And the Trojans will have to gear up the offense. The defense, as you said, Mr. Paquette, brilliant, except for that last drive. They've been a little too much maybe, but the offense, turnovers, ineffective running, not really good throwing. The big play that really saved Thornton Academy today, the Andy Burgess spectacular catch on the punt and got it down the field to Gooding. Gooding with a great catch. And that really puts Thornton Academy in great position, makes Massabesic have to travel 85 yards instead of maybe only 50 yards. And if that drive would have been the same, they would have had enough because they did get 70 yards. They just came up about 15 short.
It makes the difference. Two things you want to talk about, both defensively this afternoon. Once again, the Trojans coming up big when Massabesic got the ball in the red zone. But most impressively, 8 quarters of football against the Mustangs. Their offense unable to cross the goal line against that tough Trojan defense.
And Ryan Summer gives Matt Gooding a big shake on the head, and he gets mobbed by a couple of fans, and yes, he deserves it. That kid deserves it. What a player, folks. You love to see a guy like that get it done. Doesn't get all the glory, but you need a special team play. The kid is there. You see Soroyce and Nassy come off now, and Nassy had a big defensive game again this week. Trojans really, I mean, we were joking throughout, and we really thought it was put away earlier, a couple of fumbles along the way, and we're going to have to tabulate the turnovers, folks, but this was a bake show, and there was a bakery sale going on, and they were sold very cheaply. And the turnovers were very persistent, as they were the last time these two teams met. And when you play the Biddeford Tigers, you can't have that. We will have Thornton Biddeford 2, and that is good. That is great. And we thank you for our football, because
It's gonna be game day.
it's game day! And next week also, you got Thornton Biddeford 2, the game in high school football. And what else do we have? Tony, Mark, what do we got next week? Saturday, what do we got?
We've got the Golden Domers, as you'd like to call them. Of course, stealing that first place position away from the Knolls. Shorter no of the Seminoles. You know, Jay, I have to remind you of one thing. You're always cranking up on the Knolls, but the last 2 years, would you not admit they've had the better team than Miami? And what's happened? Have they come up with a victory either year? Do they have a field goal kicker
this year? But they did this year. They beat
Miami's
Miami.
horrible this year. Come on.
They're not horrible.
They're not as
They
good
were
as my
ranked number-
Golden
They
Domers.
were ranked number 2 all season until they lost to
You
the
better
Knolls.
cut, Cardo, because we're about to have fisticuffs up here in the booth.
You've been wanting these bets all season. You're talking about shaved heads and shaved this. Well, hey, the mustache Paquette. I got one now, sort of. You got one.
That's a big joke. Is
You
that
got-
what that is?
You got
I thought you've got to wash your face or something.
You got
it's
one.
a mustache.
you got one. So if you want to make a real bet,
Well, I'll tell you
the
what.
stash goes to the
Your
loser.
My mustache is as important to me as the hair on your head is to you. You see, because I don't have a lot of hair on my head, obviously. I'll shave the stash.
Hey,
if
but I've
you
only-
shave the head.
I've only been growing my mustache now for about 12 weeks. You've had yours for 12 years.
That's right.
So, hey.
And the last time I shaved it, my kids laughed his. Anyway.
He's chickening out, folks, and we're a little bit out of control. We're ballistic.
Hey, the one thing I would like to mention, though, as I saw the team walking off the field, a very good sign was Chris Tabor walking off the field. Apparently, he looks all right, and that's a great sign for Thornton Academy.
Obviously, a sprained right ankle. Might have to stay off in a couple days, but should be able to tape heavily and get ready for the Battle of the Bridge 2. And that is next week at Waterhouse Field. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with our gutsy players of the game, sponsored by Wagner's Market. Final score, look at it on the board, 7-0. We expected a lot of offense. We didn't get it. We got a lot of defense and a lot of good, dirty work down in the trenches. We're back after this. All set. Welcome back to Hills Stadium in our post game. Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette. Our final score: Thornton Academy 7, Massabesic nothing. A game of knots, and it was not to be for Massabesic. They played a very good football game, but they could not penetrate the Thornton Academy end zone. Thornton's defense having the answer, although they escape by the hair of their chin. A very conservative offensive game for Thornton Academy, not getting much done on the ground or in the air, but they do prevail. And that's what Coach Morin said when he left Hill Stadium. It doesn't matter. We are at Biddeford next week, and that's where we wanted to be.
Yeah, first and foremost, they're in the Western Championship game. A lot of teams are going to be sitting in the stands next week wishing they were in the spot of Thornton Academy. Offensively, probably the most lackluster performance we've seen from them this week. Running not working, passing, and I think it was pretty evident about halfway through that second half that they were putting the game square on the shoulders of their defense, knowing Massabesic was going to have a real tough time driving down the football field and punching one on the end zone in that swarming defense that Thornton Academy plays.
I guess the telltale sign of this game statistically would be Massabesic 182 yards of total offense, Thornton Academy only 167. And again, not many points, 7-0, and that a very big thing. And then you look to the turnovers. We talked about them, and boy, we saw it seemed like about 42 in that last 4 minutes of the ball game. It was only 3. And Thornton Academy, though, 3 turnovers on the afternoon. Massabesic 4. And playoff teams cannot do this type of football and win big games. Thornton Academy, luckily, they do. But next week, got to take that out of your game plan.
Well, this week they were able to get away with it, as were they able to get away with it last week. Interesting you say 182 yards total offense for Massabesic, where Noble that first game was able to rush for that alone. Great job of adjusting by Thornton Academy defensively. And Jay, yeah, against the Biddeford Tigers, you got to take care of the football. We saw what happened that first game. When the Tigers get field position, they know how to punch the ball in the end zone. Thornton's going to have to come out really offensively next week and play near perfect football to come out with a W.
And again, we joked around a lot at the end of that game. Very luckily to escape with that victory. We've had a little too much Pharrell lately and got a little crazy, but we did have fun, and luckily we come away with a victory. It reminded me of the Thornton-Biddeford game, and it looked almost like a Troy Karen pass completion in the middle of the end zone, but it was deflected at the beginning, then bounced in the air, and Rick Carey having the presence to come in and knock it away from Ramos, the back side of the end zone, and a big play, a game that still could have gone either way right to the very last play.
Yeah, we were joking around, and all of a sudden Ford comes up with a big twisting catch down on the sideline, and now you're saying, wait a minute here, one big play, and they could get a touchdown and attempt a two-point conversion, but Thornton Academy once again, great coverage in the secondary. They're able to come up when it counts, and that's one thing about this defense that you really have to say. Teams do drive on them, but they're able to pick themselves up by the heels and get it done and stop teams from scoring.
And you got to remember, Chris Noble made the catch in the end zone. Could have been a touchdown, but was just out of bounds. A very close play and a very big play. Thornton Academy does prevail 7-0. Going to our gutsy players of the game, a lot of fun today. Defensively, easy. Offensively, well, we got to dig a little bit, but we got some good ideas this afternoon. Defensively first, though, the sophomore. He's been outstanding all season long. Plays defensive end. Tough kid. 2 fumble recoveries. One, he just totally stripped the football all on his own against quarterback Latarte. A big game for him, and he's been great all year. It goes to Jared Trudeau.
It's been interesting to see the maturation of Trudeau this year, starting slowly, and then as the season has progressed, he's really been a force defensively. Comes down the line very quickly to put pressure on the quarterback, big sticks on the fullback. He was able to come up this afternoon with a couple of big turnovers, stripping another ball free, a lot of big hits, and a fine afternoon by Trudeau. We're going to need a lot more of the same next week because of the quickness of the backs of Biddeford. Big games yet to come.
Okay, on the offensive side, we're going to go with 2 players. We're going to split one. And guys, you got to split this thing, okay? Wagner won't mind us throwing out an extra one here or there, but we can't go too crazy with this. But again, a big thanks to Bill Wagner and Wagner's Market for sponsoring this all season long and throughout our 5 years of broadcasting Thornton Academy football. But we go to Gooding and Burgess. That play will live in infamy in my mind. One of the greatest plays, and a broken play turns into a great play, and just outstanding athletic play by both players. Burgess to get up, make the catch, dodge Ramos, get the ball down the field, and then Matt Gooding, Mr. Special Teams, diving catch, going out of bounds. He hauls it in, and Thornton Academy picks up the first down, avoids disaster at that point, even though they would still cough it up and give Massabesic one more shot. It was a shot that they had much further down the field instead of great field position.
And let's look at what happened on that play. Previously to that, the first couple of snaps were high. He's able to go up, Burgess is, with one hand, pull it down. Then he has the presence of mind to know, here comes Ramos, I have to sidestep him. Now I have to make something happen. I'm not going to try to punt the football. He looks downfield. On the other part of the field, Gooding is down there, seeing his quarterback in trouble. What does he do? He runs to the open spot. Burgess sees him out there, throws it on the flat. He's able to go out, dive, get the football. Jay, that was a big play because now Thornton Academy, instead of turning over at about the 40, now they have a first down deep, and when Massabesic gets it down, they have to drive the length of the field. And we saw what happened with the extra time Thornton was able to burn, plus the extra yardage Massabesic had to make up. Really played very big in this ball game.
And then we're going to go one further and give out one more gut bomb this week. A kid that's been doing it on the special teams, doesn't get much notice. And on that play, we didn't notice it, but we were told later by the coaches of Thornton Academy what this young man did. And I don't know if we'll have it on camera, but a very smart heads-up play. He plays special teams. He does a great job when he's in defensively. He does a nice job later in ball games he's been in. He's a senior, and we're very happy to give another one to Neil Maynard. And Mark, if you will, explain what Neil did on this play in particular.
Well, I came down at after the game, was talking to some of the coaches, and they said, you know who made the play on that game? And I said, yeah, Burgess and Gooding. They said, no. Maynard had gone downfield, turned, and he's about 10 or 15 yards downfield. When he saw Burgess was in trouble, was going to throw the football, he had the presence of mind to come back to the line of scrimmage so they wouldn't be called for an ineligible man downfield. Burgess delivered the ball. We know what happened. A great, really heads-up play by Maynard, certainly deserving this year of the gut bomb.
Yes, so we give out 3, a half split between Gooding and Burgess, Maynard, and also the sophomore Jared Trudeau. You look at next week's matchup with Biddeford, what more can you say? Hopefully it'll live up and be the big game that we expect, and a better one than the first meeting. The final score 28-13 Biddeford in that one. Hopefully a closer ball game. Thornton Academy certainly outplayed Biddeford. They have to come and do it again, but they have to get things going offensively. The quarterbacking controversy, really not much of one today. I think Coach Agresti did the right thing in bringing in Burgess. We were looking for him to come in at that point. Cruddo had been ineffective really moving the team, although he does throw the 1 touchdown pass to Kevin Massey on a nice play. Massey with a good run and break of the tackle. But it was good to see Burgess in there. He looked pretty good. But now you got both. Okay, let's start Burgess against Biddeford, but don't be afraid to use Keith Cruddo if Burgess has problems, and don't be afraid to mix these 2 kids in. You use Gooding and Doyon to run in the plays, or Soroyce and Doyon. Why not use Burgess and Cruddo and mix them in? Running situations, you go with Cruddo. Passing situations, you go with Burgess. Maybe not every single play, but in certain situations, I wouldn't hesitate to use both of those kids at quarterback.
It's a great problem to have, really. You got 2 kids that can come in, really run the offense, great leadership. Keith perhaps better at running the option, getting to the outside. Andy a little better at throwing the football. Thornton Academy, let's remember that first time around they played Biddeford, had some success in moving the football in the air and on the ground. Massabesic really has been their toughest opponent this year. The big story of that first game was field position. The Tigers had the field position, came up with the big throwing plays when Thornton Academy shut down their offense, shut down the running game. Thornton's going to have to shut down the running game once again and do a better job at keeping Biddeford out of the end zone when passing.
All right, we're looking forward to a big week next week. It's Thornton Biddeford at Waterhouse Field, and more importantly maybe, it's the Knowles in South Bend to face Notre Dame. We'll have our eyes and ears on both. Hope you'll be with us. We're looking forward to it. We said today's game day, but next week, that's game day, folks. Our final score, Thornton Academy prevailing, moving to the Western Finals to face the Biddeford Tigers. Final score, Thornton 7, Massabesic nothing. For my outstanding crew of Dennis Avery, Mark Pickard, Mark Cantra, Tony Ryan, and Mark Paquette, I'm Jay Harper. We're going to go watch the Haymakers and Hitting Below the Belt. It's Holyfield Bo tonight. I like Bo.
Kudos.
Kudos for Bo. We're out of here. We'll see you next week at Biddeford.